Welcome back. Now, the innovative spirit that propels inventions in Nigerian youth again resonated in Abuja State as Kenneth Akabundu joined the League of Young Nigerian Inventors with the construction of a sports car. Benson Osadebe is set to tell us about it.
Young Nigerians have continued to stand out in the area of creativity. This 20-year-old secondary school leaver, Kenneth Akabundu, has added his name among Nigerian inventors with the construction of a Formula One car for racing. Constructed with two-stroke engine which produces 20 horsepower, this sports car, Ikechukwu noted, can reach up to 85 kilometers per hour with two different driving systems such as chain and propeller.
In a dream, the inspiration came where I built it and I was like driving it around. So when I woke up, that was a dream and I was poised to construct it in real life.
We started it earlier when it was 15 years with a carton. But I thank God by now we have improved.
Fabricated with locally made materials from scraps, aluminium and fabric components, the special car runs on 12 volts battery. These were achieved, but not without some challenges.
So what I have to do is to go to my friends, people who really appreciate what I do, and tell them that look at what I want to do, but I have no money. So many of them managed to help me in giving me a little money. Then while others also leased me money, like taking something before giving me the money and giving me a time to return the money.
With the dream of becoming an aeronautical engineer, Ikechukwu said he is ready to join other young inventors to propel Nigeria to greater heights, but needs support from relevant authorities.
He did that from locally sourced materials. I think we should have an academy where we'll put all these young inventors together. We have many of them in Nigeria doing very well, and they need to be encouraged. Now, the declining numbers of lions is making them rare and endangered. In Borno State, for instance, most people have almost forgotten their existence until the king of the wild made a conspicuous and deadly appearance. A stray lion attacked a rural community barely 40 kilometers from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Sadly, the nearly extinct lord of the cat family was severely injured and died. Pauline Vanna will tell us about it.
For a state devastated by over a decade of insurgency, forest and wildlife reserves inaccessible due to the conflicts, animal kingdom is only history or can only be found in the zoo and conservation parks.
It is not normal for us to hear the appearance of lion in this area because of the insecurity problem that has displaced almost all the communities that used to stay in these areas, and also deforestation. Felling of trees have greatly reduced. Most of the trees have regenerated. That means the habitat for these wild animals have been restored.
This brings us to the shocking discovery in the quiet village of Malari in Kwanduga local government area of Borno State, a returning community, destroyed and people displaced by the Boko Haram insurgents. As they pick up pieces of their lives, inhabitants of the resettled community were woken up by a rampaging lone lion which attacked and injured two vigilantes on patrol. But this is not the first attack on Malari by the king of the wild.
I receive a distress call daily about the attack. A call on the local vigilantes to go and ascertain. So on the process of going there, they were ambushed by the lion. In the process of defending themselves, they were seriously injured. So in the process of defending themselves, they killed the lion.
The fearsome lion that emerged from the blues was eventually subdued and killed, thanks to security operatives stationed in the town to ward off insurgents' attack.
Duguma in Cameroon, because there are a lot of lions in that reserve. So sometimes there used to be a fight there have to be a fight between them, and then after the fight, if it is defeated, it has to definitely leave the herd. That adult lion must have left the herd and find its way around that area where it was killed. Those that are living very close to maybe forest or reserves, they have to be very careful. Since these reserves have been restored completely and there have been very little movement in these reserves has to be taken up, they are bound to be taken up by wild animals.
The death prize animal was later handed over to the Maiduguri Zoo manager, while the injured receiving free treatment at the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri were offered token for their upkeep.
Now, human-lion conflict has been described as a great threat to lion population. Oftentimes, the hunt for livestock is a factor. So conservationists and wildlife managers, we need to prevent such conflicts, please. To our next story. Now, we've had stories of abusive stepmothers and even fathers. It has become quite regular on Newsline and other news belts. When will the abuse and maltreatment of minors end? Will emotional traumas caused by acts of wickedness by some adults on young, innocent, and helpless children ever stop? These are questions Newsline is hoping will be answered as another innocent 9-year-old child lies at the specialist hospital, Lokoja, Kogi State. Ojonugwa Ata has the story.
My stepmother. She used wire, television wire.
Matthew David Ewongulu lives with his father and his stepmother, Elizabeth Abu, who has 4 children from an earlier marriage. The 9-year-old child, who is traumatized, seems afraid and so unable to say exactly what was used to inflict injuries on him.
It's a barbaric, issue, the situation of a woman actually abusing her own stepson. I mean, he's also a child. He's a child to her, but it's really very unbelievable. It's very sad that a woman will be so heartless to use hot iron on a little boy, and give him that magnitude of that pain.
So I made sure she was detained, and then the boy was being taken to specialist hospital for treatment. And then the secretary to the state government was also on ground to make sure that the boy received proper treatment in specialist hospital, Lokoja. Right now, as we speak, she was being charged to court. We must make sure this woman is punished.
Matthew has been in pains with his wounds, requiring serial dressings, which will keep him in the hospital for another 1 month.
The wound becomes clean eventually. The intention is to go back subsequently and we'll try to cover the defects on the wounds by doing a skin grafting for him. So I think by and large he's doing fine at the moment.
Matthew's biological mother, who came in from Nasarawa State, expressed shock at the sight of her son. She does not speak English but continues to pray for her son's quick recovery. Elizabeth Abu has been remanded in police custody. She will be tried for abuse and maltreatment of a minor.
The law needs to slam heavily on these perpetrators to serve as deterrent. And if you are planning to get married and the man has children or the woman has children, think carefully, okay? It's not by force, so that you don't go and become the wicked stepmother. Now, losing a husband is a harrowing experience that no woman prays for, especially when in her prime. The traumatic events preceding the death of Ajuese, Obiora's husband, in Aguleri, Anambra North local government area, have triggered reactions from within and outside Nigeria on humiliation and debasing of womanhood. Udo Okoronkwo reports that Ajuese literally means to inquire, suggesting that if her tormentors had envisaged the outcome, they wouldn't have gone ahead with the shameful parade.
Accused of an adulterous life, which resulted in the death of her husband, Ajuese was taken to the shrine of a native doctor who was said to have applied some herbal drugs to the disease. As his condition worsened, the brother-in-law and the native doctor allegedly accused her of being the cause of the man's illness, as according to them, she allowed her husband to feed from her food, a taboo in Aguleri if a woman was unfaithful. A man's name, they say, speaks for him. If her tormentors had inquired before stripping her naked and parading her round the community, they would have been told that the 21st century abhors such barbaric acts, irrespective of what the culture entertains. However, the custodians of the Aguleri custom and tradition are in total condemnation of the treatment given to Ajuese, describing it as against the way of life of people of Aguleri.
There are customary ways and very traditional ways of handling every perceivable offense. The people that did that, I continue to say, are probably not true Aguilerians. They are more of criminals than natives of this place.
We joined the police in finding a way to get over it, and when the lady was eventually seen, I took the lady with other members of the family to the DPO.
They will be in court to be able to answer for what they did to that innocent woman. We cannot accept that.
Snippets of the viral video showed that women were the masterminds of exposing her nakedness and their voices louder in the show of shame. This, respondents say, emphasizes the many ways women turn against each other instead of being supportive and fighting the just cause to improve their lots.
What of the man? It takes two to tango. So what of the man? And what is it so? Why is it so bad that she has to be publicly embarrassed like that?
What we are preaching now is that we should like ourselves, because when you like yourself, you will like another person. And we women, that is the problem we have.
Right to dignity of person is one of the entrenched rights in Chapter 4 of the Constitution and must be protected. If he's being threatened,
they would have gotten that woman killed or lynched because they were going towards that. These were the people, they were in that video. They were identified by the operatives that are investigating, and the person, the victim, also was able to identify them.
Every attempt to speak with the victim, who is said to have been taken to a safe place, failed.
Even in this day and age, it is sad what widows go through. And that option of always stripping women naked and done by women. Welcome back. Happiness, a trisyllabic word and a common emotion that is quite easily seen in people and in oneself, is something we talk about most times. But that is the easy part until one is actually confronted with the task of defining what happiness is. Since year 2012, the United Nations has set aside March 20th to celebrate the International Day of Happiness, giving the world a day to pause and take a critical look at what that emotion means. Today being another International Day of Happiness, Adeni Taiwo hits the streets of Lagos seeking answers beyond the dictionary, what the dictionary can offer.
Even from the editorial board conference where the topic was decided on, it was an uphill task defining happiness and what makes people happy. So, I decided to take the discussion to the streets of Lagos in search of more answers.
This is Obalende in the heart of Lagos Island. It is a point of convergence for all Nigerians, as varied as they are. And this is where I've come to seek answers in the ongoing debate about what constitutes happiness.
Happiness is a gift from God now.
If person happy, like say person get money now, or she get wetin sweet am.
It's a state of the mind. So I wouldn't say, because what makes you happy and what you want to count as a source of your own happiness may not really mean anything to me.
So are you happy?
Partially.
I don't understand that.
You know why? There is no light, no fuel, no food, no money in my pocket.
I see the happiness around you. Come away, come away. I been see the cry. Meow, meow, meow. My dog is barking.
My colleague, Annie Daniels, had an encounter with this itinerant entertainer, and his take on music and happiness adds an interesting angle to the discussion.
The world we are facing today, everybody getting anger thinking. So when I'm making the music, they keep on happy and forget their soul. Some people, if you don't give them music, they keep on thinking, and the thinking can cause someone hypertension,
Of course, laughing, singing and dancing are some of the signs indicating that dopamine or other happy hormones are at work in one's body. All these are usually in high supply in Nigeria, which incidentally ranks 116th in the World Happiness Ranking, while Finland, Denmark and Switzerland occupy the first 3 slots in 2021. In curious disregard of the rankings, many of my respondents believe being happy is a deliberate choice that has less to do with their realities, but more with their faith.
Everything doesn't have to be okay. That's where faith comes in.
Whenever I wake up in the morning, I give thanks to Almighty Allah. So I'm happy that I'm alive. So the next thing comes afterwards, being alive.
You develop happiness within yourself. In order not for you to see yourself doing strange things that you don't have to, like committing suicide and all that.
If you don't have money and you don't laugh, that is double wahala for the body.
Dr. Pasi Amarego, a clinical psychologist who weighed in on the topic, describes happiness as both mental and emotional state, adding that life realities can challenge happiness in people depending on how such realities are interpreted.
One of the main reasons why Nigerians are happy people is that because we have resilience, we can endure a lot of things. We keep hoping. And then number 2, we are hopeful that things will improve.
According to Dr. Amarego, to be happy is to be positive.
Concentrate on the positive and, remove your eyes and your mind on the negative.
This year's celebration, the 9th since it was first celebrated by the United Nations in 2013, has the theme, Build Back Happier, to drive global recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, which made it impossible for families and friends to be together for long periods of time. The day is to raise awareness on the value of happiness and the overall impact it can have on a person's well-being.
It's interesting to note that the meeting to initiate the World Happiness Day was convened from a move by Bhutan, a country which recognized the supremacy of national happiness over national income. Interesting. This story is about the life of a Nigerian ambassador who gave 33 years serving his fatherland in different countries. For the past 10 years of his retirement, he took a painstaking journey of putting together a book he titled With Heart and Might, giving an account of a Nigerian foreign diplomat and the need for Nigeria to redefine its foreign policy to protect national interest. Joseph Watson will take it from here.
With Heart and Might. The 500 pages book written by Ambassador Muhammad Ibrahim is a tale of a resilient life of the diplomat that traversed the world serving as eyes and ears of his parent country.
When I joined the service, the popular mandate then was that we had the manifest responsibility to give leadership to Africa.
Nigeria has certainly made a name for itself in Africa,
and in the world at large. Most certainly it has not been all smooth sailing.
It is a well-documented ups and downs of Nigeria's foreign policy, and major players here cannot help but agree the country is needing a more robust foreign policy in defense of Nigeria's national values of peace, security, and economic prosperity.
Nigeria must continue to establish both in principle and in practice the approach that it is no longer enough to seek what the country can do for others, but what we can do together with others in the pursuit of our common interests.
The author borrowed the title from the second stanza of our national anthem, where we are committed to serve our country to the best of our abilities. It is therefore incumbent on them to share these experiences for the benefit of the service itself, for the academia, and the society at large.
For Ambassador Muhammad Ibrahim, this is not about self-expression, but a fulfilled desire for the country to have an insight and make amends, to equip its diplomats to protect national interests and citizens abroad.
Protecting national interest, very key. Now to wedding bells. Azare Central Mosque in Bauchi State witnessed a large number of people from all walks of life who gathered for the wedding ceremony of the son of the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Alhaji Yayale Ahmed. Awal Abdullahi was there and now reports.
Family members, friends and well-wishers converge on Azare, the headquarters of Katagun local government area of Bauchi State, to rejoice with the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Mahmoud Yayale Ahmed, as he witnessed the wedding fatia of his son, Mustafa Mahmoud Yayale and Hawa Waziri Dogo. The marriage was presided over in accordance with the Islamic rite.
I am happy and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for keeping me alive up to this moment to see this kind of marriage. This is my third in this house, and Mustafa has been trained in such a way that he would imbibe the kind of ethics and the character that we want people of these days to emulate. He should take care of his wife with compassion, sympathy, and love.
My wish to the couple is for them to live happily and respect each other and be patient. We have given her a good upbringing, and I hope she will go and maintain it there.
Family members and friends wish the couple a happy married life.
No, I'm very happy. I cannot express it. I wish them all the best.
Marriage is give and take, and no third person should enter. If there's any problem, they should sit down and sort it out themselves.
We pray Almighty Allah give them long life, prosperity, and a beautiful home.
Wish them good health, love, happiness.
The groom, Mustafa Mahmoud Yayale, thanked Almighty Allah for witnessing the day.
So this is the second most important event in my life, so you can say that I'm comprehensively happy.
Congratulations, and we wish them the very best. And still on wedding bells, prominent personalities from within and outside the country converged on the Emir's Palace in Gusau, Zamfara State, to witness the wedding fatia of the son of the state's chief of protocol, Dr. Abdullahi Lawal Kazaure, and his bride, Dr. Zuliaha Hassan Nasiha, daughter of Zamfara State Deputy Governor. President Muhammadu Buhari was represented at the event by a high-powered delegation led by Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, amongst other dignitaries. Jamilu Ibrahim tells us more.
It was indeed the gathering of prominent personalities from far and near, including the Vice President and President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, as they converged on the Emir's Palace, Gusau, Zamfara State, to witness the wedding party of Dr. Abdullahi Lawal and his lovely bride, Zulaiha Hassan. The groom is a son of the State Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazauri, while the bride is a daughter of the recently appointed Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Senator Hassan Muhammad Nasiha. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented at the event by a delegation led by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, said he and his family could not attend the wedding, but their sincere wishes and blessings are always with the newlyweds. Other members of the delegation include the Minister of Water Resources, Sulaiman Adamu, the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, and the Permanent Secretary, State House, Tijani Umar. The marriage was also attended by governors of Katsina, Kebbi, and Borno states, as well as the host governor, Bello Muhammad of Zamfara State. Others are some past and civil legislators, emirs and chiefs, as well as former governors and governor of Maradi region who represented President Muhammad Bazoum of Niger Republic. Chief Imam of Gusau, Muhammad Dan Alhaji Sambo, led the prayers for the solemnization of the wedding after the declaration of the payment of 100,000 naira as dowry, as well as observance of some other rituals. Some of those who witnessed the wedding party congratulated the new couple and their families and advised them to be faithful and patient with one another. Meanwhile, a number of events were earlier held to celebrate the young couple.
I just have to use this opportunity to thank my dear colleagues, the senators, Senate President, Vice President, the governors. By the way, Amana, they attended the ceremony, especially my beloved emirs and the rest of my well-wishers. It is really a very big gathering and very encouraging gathering that made me so happy.
I feel very happy. I'm very proud of this wedding. I have already advised my daughter since before the marriage, so I know she will take what I told her.
The newlyweds, who recounted how the journey started, said their happiness knows no bounds.
Well, as you know, both of us are doctors. The journey started almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. We met and eventually we knew we are supposed to be for each other. She's a very sweet lady, and I am hopeful for her. I will be the one to be lawfully wedded husband. It's an honor for me, and I'm a very lucky husband to be.
Beautiful couple. We wish them the very best. The National Assembly, led by the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, moved from Abuja, the nation's capital, to Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to show solidarity to the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, as he gave out his daughter Aisha in marriage. Olajide Bello captured the glitz and glamour of the event for Newsline.
Atlantic Event Place played host to dignitaries including the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, state governors, members of the National and State Assemblies, royal fathers including the Oni of Ife Oba Enito Ogunwusi, and the Niels family for the nikah between Aisha Abubakar Sulaiman and Hussein Kende Yahya. Imam Abdulmumin Anofi Ayara charged the couple to make Almighty Allah the foundation of their home, be tolerant and avoid third-party interference in their marital affairs.
Abubakar Sulaiman, the DG Niels, and it's my pleasure and opportunity really and privilege to present the family. So I am giving you the hand of our daughter, Dr. Aisha Abubakar Sulaiman, in marriage for your son, Dr. Hussein Kende Yahya.
This was followed by a reception where the couple made their grand entry into the beautifully decorated reception hall. Then came the time for cutting of the wedding cake, groom and mother dance, as well as father and daughter dance. Guests were treated to an array of local and continental cuisines with a live band at hand.
We wish you well. We wish you an excellent family,
For you to weather this storm, there has to be patience, there has to be tolerance, there has to be love, there has to be understanding.
As they begin a new journey into their lives, we wish Almighty Allah will guide them in their journey.
Candid advice is just for the wife to give maximum respect to her husband, and the husband should also reciprocate.
Almighty Allah will guide the couple, and I pray that this marriage will be, the best that the family has seen.
Family members were not left out as they added their voice.
Family life that is characteristic of religiosity, of piety, of compassion, of benevolence, of sacrifices, of love, of care. I think that's just my advice to them.
My advice is for him to be a protective husband, a provider, a guardian, and a trustee.
Earlier, a pre-wedding lecture had been organized and Wolimat, which was graced by the Grand Mufti of Ilorin Sheikh Sulaiman Farouk Onikijipa, the cream of the society, including former Senate President Senator Bukola Saraki at the Okeleru family house of the bride's father, Professor Abubakar Sulaiman.
Did you see the dance of the father? Lovely. Welcome back. Trust is nowadays easily becoming misplaced as cases of abduction continue to gain ground. Let's listen to this pathetic story of a 4-year-old child who was abducted by a neighbor whose company he used to enjoy. The evil man also poisoned the boy even after ransom was paid by the parents. Yagumsu Bukra is our guide.
Of Gwengewan area of Maiduguri Metropolitan Council last week woke up to the shock of their lives to discover a dead body of a 4-year-old boy of a petite trader who was abducted 4 days ago after payment of ransom of 250,000 naira by the father. It is shocking to know that the abductor, a final year student of University of Maiduguri, lives in this mansion and a next door neighbor to the victim who lived with his parents in this compound. Father of the deceased, Babakura Mohammed, while narrating his ordeal, said he received a phone call a day after his child got missing, demanding for 250,000 naira and warned him not to disclose the matter to the security operatives if he wants his child returned unhurt.
Tun tabbatar ya shiga kudi a wajen su din daga bayan na kira wayan su ma baya shiga. Ba ka wayan su baya shiga daga na kula na zo na kwanta gida da na fita sallah azuma na yi sallah azuma na fita kawai suka kawo suka bar mun gawan JSS sun ji labarin lamarin sun karba account number da number wayan suka yi kokari suka kama wannan yaron da ya kashe yaro na dan.
The agony and trauma caused as a result of the gruesome murder of their second child out of 4 children forced the parents to vacate their home as the situation is becoming a nightmare to them. Close relative to the family and a co-tenant who described the incident as an eye-opener said they are still in shock because the victim was so much attached to the culprit before the ugly incident occurred. The culprit is already in the custody of security operatives.
May we not have neighbors from hell. May we not. Now, do you remember the late Karen Akpaga, the 14-year-old Premier Academy Lugbe student who died tragically from alleged rape and related complications from infections? Her mother is pressing civil charges against the school to the tune of 10 billion naira for negligence of duty, emotional and mental stress, as well as an order of restraint from harassment from the institution. Onotu Yakubu brings us update.
It is Vivian Vehimga Apaga's word against that of the institution now. 10 months have passed since the body of her daughter, the late Karen Hapochapaga, was committed to Mother Earth following her gruesome death resulting from alleged rape and related complications. She said, to her dismay, The Premier Academy is yet to show remorse for failing in its volition to protect her ward, whom she entrusted to the institution's care. As a result, she narrates that she has decided to institute a civil charge against the Premier Academy for damages through negligence of duty of care and sundry issues.
We are taking them to court for negligence of duty, which they owed Karen to care for her and to ensure that she was safe. Under their watch, Karen was raped. Under their watch, Karen was overdosed with dexamethasone that led to her death on the 22nd day of June. And then we're asking 10 billion naira damages against the defendants for the breach of duty of care and negligence, which led to Karen's death. And then 10 million naira for emotional and mental stress of myself. And an order from the court restraining the defendants and from harassing myself and then those that are standing by me.
The coalition of civil society organizations in support of the cause explains that the charges for damages are part of efforts to awaken the consciousness of other such institutions to their responsibilities to prevent reoccurrence.
So the CCTV footages that we are asking, that we will also seek the court for an order of mandamus to compel the school and the police to produce, will answer the question and unmask the rapist.
Humanity watches as events unfold with the hope that the outcome will unearth the circumstances which led to the death of the late Karen Abuja.
I must applaud Karen's mother. Her proactiveness is very good. Now that they are going to court, more angles to the case will surely surface. Now, social vices, including cultism, have been around secondary schools in the country for a long time now, and this is raising loads of concerns in the contemporary society. In Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, a student allegedly killed a fellow pupil for their alleged involvement in rival cult activities. Utebe Achibong in this report tells us about the alleged murder that took place at the community secondary school, Akaofot, Uyo.
Related practices have continued to rise among secondary school students. In Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, for instance, cases of cultism have been recorded in some secondary schools, a situation which led to the shutdown of some of the secondary schools by Akwa Ibom State government. Now, the latest that has sent shockwaves to residents in Uyo and the state is the death of a student of community secondary school, Akaofot, who allegedly stabbed a fellow student to death, also causing the state government to immediately shut down the school. When NTA news crew arrived at the school premises, students and teachers had already vacated the premises, and all efforts to get reactions of some residents around the environment proved abortive. However, the news crew came in contact with some students of Community Secondary Commercial School, Akaofot.
I was standing here and I saw the boy that was. Though the incident that happened in school, I don't know anything about it, but I want the government to open our school and send more security personnel to our school so that our life will not be at stake, because you don't know the murderer. We need the government to look for the murderer and get him arrested, open our school, because we are about to start our exams.
And we cannot continue to write our exam. Please, I want government to provide more security in the school so that it won't affect us, because we are now staying at home doing nothing.
While investigations are ongoing by the Akwa Ibom State Police Force to bring the culprits to book, the police command says it has dispatched its men to secondary schools identified as flashpoints within Uyo Metropolis to check the menace.
We received a report about the murder of a young man. Information reaching us was to the effect that at Aka Community Secondary School, one Samuel Efyong Achibong stabbed one Master James Elijah Aduke, which led to his death. CP Andrea Megame Smith, he has ordered a discreet investigation to be conducted. We've extended our dragnet to see how we can apprehend the perpetrator.
Governor Domi Manuel, while hosting some clerics, expressed concern.
I need the church to help me on this war against cultism. If we don't do something now, if we don't rise to it now, it's going to cause a problem. SS3 students used knife and stabbed an SS2 student. Why? Because they are of rival cult groups in secondary school.
Residents are hopeful that government and concerned security agencies will ensure that sanity be instituted in secondary schools in the state.
If this ugly trend of cultism is not addressed, we might wake up one day to the horror of cult activities spreading to even nursery schools. Time to act is now. Children, no doubt, are gifts from God. It's, however, a challenging situation for parents struggling to cater to the needs of 4 to welcome quadruplets. This is a story of subsistence farmers, Mr. and Mrs. Ibon Nicholas Ignatius of Asiga Old Town, Yakor local government area of Cross River State. Erica Ivy reports that 3 out of the 4 preterm babies have been transferred from the General Hospital Ugeb to the sick bay unit of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital for intensive care.
Human multiple births comes with ample love and excitement to the parents. And research shows that about 90% of human multiple births the world over are conceived with the aid of reproductive medical techniques, such as fertility enhancement drugs or in vitro fertilization. But the case of Mr. and Mrs. Iboy Ignatius is different, as the babies came natural. At the Sick Baby Unit, SBU, University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, the nursing officer in charge, Esther Ona, expressed confidence that the babies were responding to medical treatment.
You cannot say, definitely that all is well, because the management is in steps, in process, ongoing. It's ongoing. But I would say for now that they are coping fine.
In the face of economic realities now in the country, the parents of the babies and their relatives, though thankful to God for our successful delivery, are looking forward to well-meaning Nigerians for financial support.
I don't have strength to be able, I cannot be able to carry the children, so I need assistance.
I need assistance from the state government to assist me so these children will grow.
The training of the children is really stressful, and I've been the one running out the test, everything for the children.
My uncle was actually thanking God for just a male child, and all of a sudden, God bless him with 4.
Mr. and Mrs. Ibo, who are subsistence farmers and have already lost one of the babies, are appealing for financial assistance.
We have a culture of showing love, so let's reach out to the family. They sure need our help. Celebrating success and accomplishments truly deserving can indeed be inspiring.